question for you, babe. If it ain't love, why does it feel so good? Why does it feel so good?
Hey, what is going on everyone? Welcome back to another Clash Royale video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the new Night Witch challenge. Now, before we get things started off today, I'd like to make two announcements. The first one is that I actually went so far as to write a blog really, or just a general guide on how to just do this challenge in general, like my best tips. They're in that guide, and I'd really appreciate it if you all would just find the time to check it out. I will leave a link to that guide in the description down below, and I really hope that you all can just take away from it. I spent a really good deal of time yesterday just writing it up, so I really hope someone out there can really just learn something from it. But anyways, on to the other announcement. It is concerning the bloopers that I had at the end of the last two videos. The reason why I had the title saying use your earphones and stuff, it's because I wasn't sure if most of your parents would be cool with the little bit of swearing found in the audio, so I just wanted to make sure that none of you would have gotten in trouble with them if they weren't cool with that kind of stuff. So yeah, in future just try to listen to these videos with your earphones on or something like that. And yeah, I just really don't want you guys getting into trouble. Trust me, that is the last thing on my wish list right now. In fact, it isn't even on my wish list, so yeah, I just hope you guys can just understand that. So in future, just keep those earphones on. Anyways, back to the video now. I am not going to be discussing much detail about the gameplay itself that I'm going to be doing today, and I am very sorry for any of the lag. My phone was heating up, so just trying to record these videos really was kind of a big challenge for me. So let's get right to it. Anyways, I'm sure you all were just searching YouTube really, or just anywhere on the internet to look for some tips and tricks. So don't worry guys, I am here to help you and just prep you for the upcoming battles. So first things first, this event is going to be a draft challenge. Now what this means is that each player is given 8 cards at the start of the match to choose from, and these cards are presented in pairs. From each of these pairs, the players are expected to choose one card of their choice, and they are even given an extra 30 seconds, which is not included in the regular timer for the match. So yeah, you get 30 seconds of grace just to make a game plan and just choose what cards that you think will be really beneficial to you. However, if any of you out there fail to choose any cards within the allotted time, you will, without a doubt, get all the cards on the left. So if you disconnect it or you just refuse to take any cards from any point in time in the options, yeah, you're going to get every card that is on the left. That is without a doubt what is going to happen. So next point, there are going to be 73 cards available in these draft challenges. However, for some reason I have noticed that certain cards don't always make an appearance. I'm not sure why, but stuff like the Bandit I did not see in this draft challenge while playing it through. However, the Night Witch is included in this list, but the bats are not. The bats have not been introduced into the game yet, or even just up for grabs. So yeah, the game will have 74 cards at some point in time, but that is not today. Anyways, there will be 16 cards in the match in total. That is really 8 cards on your side and 8 cards on the opponent's side. No one is going to have 2 of the same cards. So unlike the Prince challenge or the Musketeer challenges, any of the stack card challenges, well, I call them stack cards because you could buy a lot of them in a stack. But yeah, no one will have 2 of any card, and no 2 opponents, well, no 2 players will have the same card. So for example, in that Prince challenge, I cannot have the Prince and you cannot have the Prince at the same time. Only one of us will. So only one Night Witch up for grabs, so it is your choice whether to choose her or not. Alright, and much like regular challenges, the Night Witch challenge will have up to 12 wins to be made and up to 6 minutes of gameplay. So what this means is that you have 6 minutes just to take a single tower, guys. That is all you need to win a single tower, and you just need to either defend, or if your opponent has the right cards to really pressure you, try to take another tower if possible, but mostly you just need one tower. So unless your opponent is really strong, then I'd advise just trying to go for a 2 crown. But yeah, 1 crown is all you need, folks. So what I'd advise doing in this event is slowly chipping away at your opponent's towers. Now this might not always work, but it can depending on your opponent's cards as well as your cards. So the cards presented in the match will just determine how things should flow. So some good examples of chip damage I would say are minor strikes and value spells. Also, some other good tips to just look out for is if you have the Ice Spirit, throw him out there in between. Even if he isn't going to be freezing anything in particular, as long as he connects with that tower, that is a win. And as far as value spells are concerned, what I mean by this is like you hit troops and the tower with your spells, so you just maximize the value of it there. So what I mean by this is like you're casting poison on a witch and a tower and maybe something else like another troop or a building, anything like that. Other spells might include fireball, lightning, rocket, as well as the cheaper spells that are really handy, log, zap, and arrows. Some other good chip damage might come from troops, and what I mean by this would be the spears from spear goblins and darts from dart goblins. Trust me guys, they are annoying, but they are a safe way to chip away at your opponent's towers without them really noticing. You just have to play really carefully. And another good chip card is the archers. If you can split the archers in the back almost every time without really having a need to save them, try to do that, and it is almost guaranteed damage on at least one of your opponent's towers. So if they really want to defend all the damage there, they have to spend a lot more elixir than 3, unless they have archers of their own. In that case, then it will cancel off. Alright, let's talk about the Night Witch and her stats. So, Night Witch, she summons bats to do her bidding even after death. And if you get too close, she isn't afraid of pitching in with her mean looking battle staff. Now, the Night Witch has 750 HP, 285 damage. She has a spawn speed of 5 seconds, so every 5 seconds there will be 2 bats spawning onto the field. She only hits ground units. She has a hit speed of 1.5 seconds, and she moves at a medium move speed. So what this means is that she is a slow moving troop, so she would best find value in slower pushes, but this may not always be the case. So here are some tips really on how you should use her. Since she is of a medium movement speed, just picture the rate at which a Mega Minion typically flies across the arena. So just to give you an idea of how she moves, just picture how fast a Mega Minion really flies across the map. That'll just give you a perfect idea right there. And she can really be compared to the Mega Minion as well. So she is similar in the sense that she is excellent for building up some slow but deadly beatdown pushes. However, she is different from the Mega Minion in the sense that she can only hit ground alone by herself while her bats hit the air. She is also like a portable spawner for the bats, much like the witch. Instead of skeletons though, she spawns 2 bats at a time every 5 seconds and 4 additional bats after dying. So isn't that great guys? She's really awesome. So a good example of just building up slow but deadly pushes is like when the Mega Minion was first really in the meta, back a really long while ago actually, when the Giant Poison was the deck that a lot of top players were really rocking. It was just great to have such slow moving cards together, and they just really just put a lot of pressure on your opponent when they just build up into these massive slow but deadly beatdown pushes. So you could really snowball the game with when you have these slow moving cards all together. So just watch out for a rocket or something like that. Of course you are not going to group everything up together, that is just ridiculous. And if they have Tornado Rocket or Tornado Executioner, well, I'll say a prayer for you. I'll say a prayer for you guys. Anyways, I believe the Night Witch will have her ideal place in generally the heavier beatdown style decks, such as Golem decks, Giant decks, and Lava Hound. However, there are some other tanks that would be really useful with the Night Witch, and these tanks would include the Royal GG, the G-Larry, and the Big Bad P.E.K.K.A. Now the reason I say this is because generally these cards are defended against by the Inferno Tower and Inferno Dragon, but with the Night Witch on your side, these cards will just have a greater chance at shining, because the Inferno Beams will just get trolled by the constant trickling of the bats so it'll just really mess up Inferno Tower users and Inferno Dragon users on the whole, so it's something to consider really. And there are some other cards that I would also think are really good to pair up with the Night Witch, and they would be smaller tanks. And these would include the Knight, Valkyrie, Hog Rider, Ice Golem, Miner, Baby Dragon, and the Battle Ram. Now, out of all the cards that I mentioned before, I think my personal favorites to pair up with the Night Witch would include Miners, Giants, Baby Dragon, Hound, and the Hog Rider. Yes, I did include the Hog Rider in this for a very specific reason. Now, this reason is that just imagine you're defending against like a giant or a P.E.K.K.A. or something like that. You guys know how nice it is when you get to keep troops on your side for really long. Well, in the Night Witch's case, she'll just stockpile bats, and if there's nothing to really take care of the bats, you'll have a lot of bats at your disposal really at the end of the day. And when you're ready, well, when you're finished defending actually, you can just drop a quick Hog Rider into the mix, and that'll just make for a really nasty counter push. So all of you Hog Rider players out there, as well as my fellow Miner players, I'm sure you will all agree that they are those perfect windows of opportunity to just strike back. And with the Night Witch, you'll have a lot more of those just opening up, because the possibilities with the Night Witch and her death spawning of bats as well, that is just really handy, folks. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there will somehow find some really popular uses for it. I will try my best to find some good uses for the Night Witch and her bats. I think I already have some in mind. Anyways, enough of all that. Let's talk about how to counter this Night Witch. Now, one thing that you all who are participating in this event must note, again, is that the Night Witch and her bats are going to be really annoying, and they will get really out of hand very fast. So, the Night Witch, again, 750 HP, spawns bats every 5 seconds, and 4 more after death. And what does all this mean? What does it mean, guys? It means that the entire freaking arena is going to be filled to the brim with the Night Witch and her bats. So, the bats will have really low HP and high damage output, so compare them to skeletons, but they're flying, and they're just 2 of them instead of 4 being spawned at a time by the Night Witch instead. So, what are some good cards to really counter the troublesome Night Witch here? I would say that the Night Witch would be easily countered with cards such as the Wizard and the Executioner. Hands down, those are the 2 best counters that I can think of. And if you are dealing with a massive push, obviously if you can grab a tornado with all of that, it'll just make for some really good positive elixir trades, and you'll just find yourself defending really nicely. So yeah, consider using the Wizard or Executioner if you know the opponent is going to have the Night Witch, and if it's possible, take the Night Witch as well if you have the opportunity really to do so, even after taking the best counters. Now, some slightly less viable counters would also include the classic surrounding of the troop with a skeleton army or the Goblin Gang. These cards work out really nice. I've tested them myself in some battles, and they absolutely wreck the Night Witch. But depending on the amount of bats that she has up, she might actually be able to tear through them all. So be careful of that, folks. And there are other cards as well, like the Bowler. The Bowler will also do a good job if it is a solo Night Witch. However, if there is a tank in front of the Night Witch, the Bowler is not going to be the best choice of defense. And the reason for this is because after the Night Witch dies, she will still spawn all those bats, and the bats from before that were around while she was alive will just rush at the Bowler and tear him up, and while the tank is still there alive, taking the damage from the tower, those bats will just eat away at your tower. So be really careful there, folks. And besides those cards that I really mentioned before, there are 2 more as well that really work where troops are concerned, and those are both the regular and elite barbarians. They will just tear up that Night Witch really fast, so they're a solid defense really, unless the opponent has some just massive amounts of fire spirits or something like that following the Night Witch, which I doubt will be the case. Anyways, the spells that you can also use to annihilate the Night Witch would also include a well placed and timed rocket or lightning. Those would just absolutely destroy the Night Witch. There will be no chance of her surviving with that, so no heal will save her at all. Then there's also the combo of Fireball and Log. However, there will be one bat in every direction of the baby dragon. So one in the north, one in the east, one in the west, and one in the south. So that baby dragon has no chance at all to splash all of the bats unless you combo it with the tornado. So enough about all these tips. I really hope they are helpful, by the way guys. If they are, please let me know down in the comments. I'm really eager for your feedback, and I would just really like to know if they seem to make sense to you at all. And if it is possible guys, let me know down in the comments how far you all were able to make it in this challenge after listening to these tips and tricks that I gave out today in the video, and how far you all think you would normally be able to make it in any of these challenges without the tips, really, if you didn't listen to the video before. So let's just put that aside and just talk about the rewards for a second. In the course of doing these 12 battles, there will be some milestone rewards in between all of that, so those are really nice. And at 2 wins we will get a gold chest from the current arena. Then at 4 wins we will receive 8,000 gold, and at 6 wins, now this is a really great one guys, there's a neat magical chest waiting for you from your current arena, and depending on the arena you'll have really good odds of getting a new legendary maybe, or just getting a duplicate of what you already have for that much needed upgrade. And then folks, at 9 wins we have the big one. So at 9 wins we will receive 25,000 gold. So if you can make it up to 9 wins at least in the challenge before losing, I will still consider that a win in my book, because 8k and 25k, that's 33,000 gold right there. I know I make a mistake and just let the skeleton walk up to my tower. Mistakes were made folks. Anyways, you will receive 33k from the milestone rewards alone, and then there is the gold from the challenge chest itself. So all that is really nice, and if you did not win the challenge, I would advise saving the gold for a legendary card that you have your eyes set on in the shop, or maybe saving the gold until Night Witch is officially released into the game. Now, for those of you who are fortunate enough to make it to 12 wins, I salute you. Congratulations, hats off to you folks, you have done it. So, you unlock the Night Witch really early before she is officially released into the game. Now what does this mean for you lucky folks? It means that from this point onwards, any chest that you all are opening will have the chance to give you a possible Night Witch. So this means that you can get an upgrade really early, and there's the possibility that when you go into the shop the next day, she might be available for purchase and getting that much desired upgrade. So let's get straight into these chest openings while we continue discussing things. Alright guys, before we wrap things up for today's video, I would just like to say one more tip about the Night Witch, and that is, if you place the Night Witch behind the King Tower like you center her, you can get one bat in each lane and really distract something on the other lane that hits air, or you can use something that tanks for a brief second like an ice golem and just have a small little light defense. It's just something you should really consider doing if the situation really calls for it. But anyways, I think I was actually the first person in my country to complete this challenge. If not the first, at least one of the first, but I know I was the earliest among my friends at least to just finish this up, and it was like around 7:10 a.m. in the morning when I finished the challenge. But yeah, another thing to note really, I did not finish the challenge on my second account and main account just yet. On my second account I don't have any more entries to really make, but I lost at 10 wins. I still got the gold, which was still nice, and on my main account, would you believe it, I actually lost at 3 wins. Yeah, I lost the rocket cycle and stuff. I could not get to the enemy tower anymore and they were just chipping me down with rockets. So yeah, rip me. I'll still try to enter the challenge again on my main account if possible, either tomorrow or Sunday maybe, depending on how things go. I need 6 more gems for another entry. Also, there's actually enough videos to really just make a part 2 for this challenge. However, it might be a little bit late. I might make that Monday instead, or Tuesday or something like that, instead of the 300 subscriber special. Do not worry guys, I did not forget about it. It's just that I had a lot of good replays to really show. These weren't so great really. I just wanted to take the less interesting ones to just give the breakdown of the challenge over while they played in the background, I guess. but trust me, the ones that I want to show in the part 2, they are all pretty darn epic, so I would hope that you all could just stop by again and just check them out when I do upload the video. And remember guys, if you keep on digging, you'll eventually strike gold, but even then, keep on digging deeper. You'll eventually come across something even more worth your while. So that is gonna wrap things up for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and special thank you once more to my friend Ryan from Badge of Honor. Dude, these thumbnails are sick. Thank you for hooking me up with them. I really appreciate it. And if you guys enjoyed the video today, try to share it with a friend or some family or anyone really that you think would enjoy the type of content that I am putting out on YouTube here. So guys, that is gonna be it again for the episode today. I wish you all the best of luck in the Night Witch challenge. Hope to hear that many of you unlock the Night Witch really early, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out guys.